Raiders Broncos game happening tomorrow at Raiders Stadium.
Yes,
And
sir.
my name is Colton. I'm a Denver resident. I love the Broncos. And yeah.
My name is Maddox. I'm a Denver resident as well, and I support the Broncos every day, every year.
And this is actually really exciting because there's a lot of news this week about just crazy things, Broncos related, NFL related, all sorts of stuff. So really quick, first thing I thought we would talk about is the Broncos swept the NFC South for the first time in franchise history. They beat them by 125 total points to 37 total points. Every game was basically a blowout, if we're looking at this. The only team that really put on a good fight was the Panthers, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then the first time sweeping a division since 2015, which is significant because it's the Super Bowl season. We won the Super Bowl last. What do you think of that?
Oh my gosh, I remember that year. That was a great year to be a Broncos fan. Swept a terrible division is awesome.
Exactly.
I hope over the next 2 years we swap our whole division.
Yeah.
How cool that would be.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Go 6-0 against all of them.
And you said it was a good year to be a Broncos fan. You think we're getting closer to that every year in the Sean Payton era of this team?
Yeah, Sean Payton has done a great job on building a great offense, a great defense. I mean, the offense could be a little better, but players we have right now, actually not bad. People criticize them and think they're terrible, but in my opinion, you have to watch the team to say bad stuff about it. You can't just be oh, Christian McCaffrey's the worst player and you've never seen him play. No, but I think our offense is gonna keep getting better. Yeah, Sean Payton will stick with us for a while. I mean, if we had another coach, it'd just be done for us.
Yeah, he's done a great job building Bo Nix up, and I really like that for him. And speaking of Bo Nix, I mean, what else is there to say? 307 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 84.8% completion rate. That is insane to me. No picks. 84.8% completion percentage is incredible. That's what you'd love to see out of a rookie. It's just looking so good.
Yeah, I mean, he's not crazy.
Not many people do that. Not many rookies at all. Not even every quarterback is doing that in a single game this year. I doubt any of them will. Or most of them will. And for reference, Peyton Manning's best game ever in terms of completion was an 89.3%. That's kind of close to 84.8%. This was Peyton Manning's best game ever. One of the greatest quarterbacks ever. And it was against the Oakland Raiders.
Speaking about the picks, interceptions, did you know Bo Nix hasn't thrown an interception since October 5th, 2024 when he played the Chargers?
I like that.
He hasn't thrown an interception ever since. I mean,
I think he did throw one against the Ravens, but it was I kind of blame that one on the receivers, I'm not going to lie. Kind of tipped it over his head. Bad game against the Ravens, it's fine. Bo Nix still played well. Yeah. He's the first rookie quarterback in NFL history to throw for 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards, and get an 80% or higher completion percentage in one game. And he got awarded for it. He got Rookie of the Week this week. That's a big old check. And he got not even AFC Rookie of the Week. He got AFC Offensive Player of the Week. That's insane. I think he's the first Broncos rookie to ever do that. One of the first rookies to do that. It's great.
Out of the 16 teams and the multiple players, it's awesome that Bo Nix got it. I mean, he deserves it. He's been playing his ass off.
And he's not done. I mean, they're hungry for a win against the Raiders. I know they are. Here's some interesting stuff to talk about. This is just the dumpster fire of the league. The Raiders, they're in the dumps here. They don't have a quarterback. They're losing games. Their offense is terrible. Their defense is terrible. They have one good player, and that's a tight end. Not what you want to see. You don't want your best player to be a tight end ever.
And Crosby. I feel like Crosby might get traded for the end of the season. I mean,
Crosby's been saying he wants to win, and you're not going to win on the Raiders. It's not going to happen.
top defensive player, I mean, I would want to switch teams for sure.
Exactly.
Because he's allowed to do that. You're allowed to request a trade. I mean, the Raiders don't have to do that, but, they might want to trade up for the number 1 spot.
Exactly. Yeah. And there is a slide about the potential relationship between these two teams in the offseason in terms of quarterbacks. They both need one. Everyone probably knows Daniel Jones was released, but we'll talk more about that later. The Browns are coming off a win against the Steelers in the snow. But they still are not a good team. Let's admit this. The Steelers, the AFC North is just a division of chokers. They like to choke against bad teams. It's always just funny watching those teams play their divisional games. I just feel like it's not a good division.
The Browns have been terrible their whole life.
I'm glad Jameis got his win. I love Jameis Winston, but the Browns are not good. Let's not get too interested in this. Jaguars, I don't even know what to say about this team. They're going for like their first pick in like 5 years. It's just so sad. I don't know what to say about it.
They keep rebuilding, and then their players get hurt, and then they get traded away.
Just clean house. Like, really, just clean house. You have to. Next slide. So we got the future of the AFC West. The Chiefs look a lot worse this year. They're barely winning games. I saw something. If the Chiefs games where they won by 1 possession, if it was reversed, they would be like 2-7. That's terrible. Like they're winning by inches, and it is a game of inches. And their defense is playing well. They're getting bailed out by the defense and the special teams. They could go to the Super Bowl, but I really do think it's maybe like the Lions or the Bills here this year. What do you think?
As experienced as a football fan, I don't know how they're winning games because, teams don't realize if you give Patrick Mahomes 1 minute, 2 minutes, anything, he's gonna score.
If you give him 13 seconds, he'll get a field goal.
And the Broncos,
he's dangerous.
I mean, you saw that game. We got the ball back and we held them. We held the ball for 4 minutes. 4 minutes, and then disaster stupid stuff. But I think I think they're gonna get eliminated. They'll probably have the first week.
Yeah.
They'll probably clinch the first spot, because they're the top team in the AFC. But when they play the conference game or whatever, I think they'll lose.
Yeah, or by some miracle, this Bills game just derails them and they lose to Bryce Young and the Panthers, but I highly doubt that. The Chargers, they're looking better this year. They aren't losing games in some way. There's another slide about that. Chargers are notorious for choking. They even have a term coined after them because of the way they choke with the good rosters. They're winning games. Again, I'm not too impressed by beating the Bengals. Their defense is very poor. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins did not do a good job in the last few seconds, and the Chargers defense is very solid, so can't really say much. Raiders should have a good draft pick this year. They're probably going to draft a quarterback, probably Shitter Sanders, if they get the chance to, considering they're not looking as bad as the Jaguars, who probably won't draft a quarterback, but they're not looking as bad as the Giants either. Broncos are in a good spot to take 2nd or 3rd place in the division consistently. After we stop paying Russ, we will be better. Speaking of which, we will regain $53 million in cap space next year from Russell Wilson. That's when the whole drama is just over. It's over.
Yeah, it's fine. We can actually get some players and free agents, and we can. I hope we re-sign Sutton for some more years, or
Sutton should retire a Bronco. Yeah.
Surtain is with us for another 5 years.
Yeah, so Surtain, Cody Barton playing amazing. Just re-sign the whole offensive line, bro. They're playing amazing. The offensive line is so good. I love it. We have a first round, we have a second round, we have a third round, we have a fourth round, and we have 3 6 rounds. One from Arizona, I forget from who. One from Philadelphia, I forget from who. Oh, this one's from Baron Browning. That's right. Almost forgot.
It's kind of good.
Here's some notable free agents in 2025, and these arrows are ones that I said might be interesting for the Broncos. Aaron Jones, he's playing good this year. I don't know too much about the Viking story with the running backs, but I could see them.
They switched to running back a lot.
I could see them letting him walk free. James Conner, he's having a huge impact on the Cardinals this year. I don't know if I'd see him run free. I realize now that when I made the slide, the fonts were really bad, and I apologize for that, or the colors. Javonte Williams, I feel like we're going to let him go. It's been underwhelming. I love Javonte Williams. I love the running backs. It's been underwhelming, though. What do you have to say about that?
It's we don't know obviously yet, but like just from this list of running backs, in my opinion, I think if we got rid of Javonte, we should pick up James Conner or Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is really good. He doesn't get much attention. He's been in the league for a little while.
Yeah, he's awesome.
But he's probably the best offensive player on the Browns. I mean, you feel bad that he plays for such a bad team, but Nick Chubb is a great receiving running back. He's fast. His agility moves are good, and I hope we get a good running back from free agency.
Yeah,
I mean, I know Tyler Batty today might come back, or is definitely going to come back, but after a season-ending injury, you never know how he's going to perform. So if we just had a main running back, and then Tyler Batty, and then no, who's the other guy? Pirine or McLaughlin?
We have Jaleel McLaughlin, Javonte Williams, Tyler Batty, and Audric Estime.
Okay, we should keep McLaughlin. He's good.
Yeah, but I think Audric Estime, I think he's a rookie, so we could also keep him. He had an amazing hurdle last game that got called back, but it was still a cool thing to see. I think he can develop into something cool, but Nick Chubb, T. Higgins is someone else on my radar. I feel like the Bengals are not doing a good job at, their playoff window has closed. We'll say that. Their defense sucks. The management and the owners don't care about winning. You have people like T. Higgins, you have people like Jamar Chase, you have people like Joe Burrow. Those are people that you build like a winning franchise around. I just don't understand why they're not doing it. It must be really frustrating for Bengals fans. I apologize. I had 2 Super Bowl losses with your Heisman first pick quarterback who actually plays like he wants to win. Evan McPherson missing 2 kicks. I mean, I'm not going to blame him for that. That whole game is just a mess. But these two are like on my radar of people that I'd like. And then Bo Nix is throwing to players that wouldn't even be on the active roster on some teams. That might be true. Courtland Sutton definitely is a receiver that would be on some rosters. I think our rookie receivers could develop into some playmakers. I think Devon Vele could. The only problem is that he's 26-year-old as a rookie, which is kind of scary and really weird. I don't really understand how that happens.
Yeah.
But we definitely want a free agent pick, whether that be a running back, wide receiver. It's someone that fits with Sean Payton's system, or trade up. But we do have a first round pick this year. I mean, obviously we do, but it would be nice to get someone like Malik Neighbors or George Pickens.
If we don't wait, I'm glad we don't waste our stupid draft picks or trades, because when the Russell Wilson shit happened, we didn't have any picks in the draft. It was bad.
Yeah. So I'm just so impressed with the ability of Sean Payton to just turn this team around in such a short time. I mean, we literally were horrible 2 seasons ago. We were horrible. It was sad.
Yeah.
We talked about this. This is just an appreciation slide. Really nothing much to talk about. Got our 5 up front. We got our Garrett Bowles, our left tackle, our Ben Powers left guard, our center, our right guard, and our right tackle, Mike McGlinchey, Quentin Miners, Luke Wattenberg. These guys are playing amazing. Last game, there was 2. We literally scored on the Falcons twice on the same screenplay with Troy Franklin once and then Devon Vele once. And these guys just did insane with the blocking. It's just so impressive to see these kind of...
we need to keep these. Yeah. We need to keep these players for at least 2 or 3 more years.
And these are like no-name guys, but I think really people are going to start putting some respect on like people like Quinn Miners and Ben Powers. Who Ben Powers is like, of all these players, he's like the worst like ranked in terms of like PFF. And when you watch him play, he looks like he's like one of the best. So that really just shows how good this whole team is.
I think the Raiders tomorrow. I think there's only going to be one sack.
Yeah, I mean, and
they're gonna double Max Crosby.
Even in week 5, Bo Nix didn't get sacked that much. And think about how he doesn't get sacked like now, because he just throws it away, or he runs and scrambles out, or he just makes the completion. Like, it looks better now. If they couldn't get it done then, the Raiders are not going to be able to get it done now, and I'll say that. And then, more about Bo Nix. Let's look at these totals. Jaden Daniels only has around like 100-ish yards on Bo Nix in terms of yards all time. He's got way more rushing yards, which at this point, I'm not impressed with rushing yards. Bo Nix used his legs to run during the start of the season.
Yeah, he did a lot. Actually. And
now he doesn't. He's throwing more. He's playing more like a quarterback, but he still uses his legs when it matters. Bo Nix has 3 more interceptions than Jaden Daniels. But this is all time. So what I'm more interested is I calculated the last 4 games. Bo Nix doing better in touchdowns, 5 more. Passing. This is passing, by the way. This is all passing. He has a significantly higher completion rate or percentage. Significantly higher. And he's got more yards. To 1 interception tied, to 2-2 record tied. And yeah, I just put this quote as not how you start, that's important, but how you finish. Bo Nix, he's getting talked about much more now in the conversation of Rookie of the Year than Jaden Daniels. He's playing better last 4 games. Probably going to play better this game against a bad defense. I think Bo Nix seriously could win Rookie of the Year, which would be so encouraging to see as a Broncos fan.
Yeah, I mean, this chart shows that, Jaden Daniels, he hasn't been performing very well, I think, since week 7.
Yeah.
The Commander,
he is playing through a rib injury.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive. But he hasn't shown anything, he hasn't been on the same page as Bo Nix.
Yeah, his development has been like this, and it's kind of like tapering off a little bit. Where Bo Nix has just been this, just straight up, just improvement every game. He was bad this game, not good this game, got better the Buccaneers game, much better the Raiders game. Saints game, had to work on his footwork. The next game, destroyed the Panthers. Played a perfect football against the Chiefs. Played perfect football against the Falcons. Jaden Daniels playing good, and then it's just kind of teetering out a little bit. I think Bo Nix
is getting the attention now.
Yeah,
he's people are realizing that he's not some old head college player that joined the NFL when he was 20. How old is he? 27?
He's like 20. He's like 24 actually.
Oh, 24 then. Okay, well.
He just played 1 extra year in college, and I think it worked out for him. I think it's a smart thing to do. But now we got Raiders week. The week that we haven't really been liking last few years, but now I'm really liking it going into it. So our first meeting is a 64-year-old rivalry. Was in Broncos won 31-14. Really similar score to the last meeting, which is interesting. I just wanted to point that out. It's like 3 extra points and then 4 extra points. Interesting thing, but just turn on your TV on Sunday at 2 if you live in the mountain area, and let's watch Bo Nix stick to the Raiders in their own house. That's all this side is here for. But yeah, Raiders week. Big week.
Raiders fans are annoying. Raiders.
If we win this game, our record will be 7-5 going into the Browns game, which could then go into 8-5, which then goes into our bye. And then we're going to be well rested against the Colts. And it's not a long shot to say the Broncos could be 9-5 after their bye week against the Colts, where we then play the Chargers on Thursday, I believe.
I know, Flex Thursday.
Yeah.
WNFL.
Yeah, we'll talk about. Oh, it's right here. Breaking.
Wow.
This is NFL history. The Broncos will be the first team to ever play 2 Thursday night games on the road in 1 year. Teams cannot be forced to do this. It's a rule. You can't be forced to do it. So the Broncos had to sign off on this. They said yes. What do you think the reasoning is for that? Why would they say yes?
I think they said yes because, I mean, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, there's one of two things. Either Sean Payton wants to show that we are better than the Chargers on national television on Thursday night,
prime time,
or which I mean, I feel like Sean Payton is not like a showbutter. Like he's not like
no, he just wants to show people.
He just wants to win.
Yeah.
I think it's more about having a lot of rest in between the Bengals game. I think Sean Payton's going to want to win this game. Like, he's going to want to win. But I think he's going to beat the Bengals, and having from Thursday to Sunday, we're going to have a lot more time for that. Bengals are not a good team. I bet we're already preparing for that game. It's going to be a big game in terms of playoffs. Same with the Colts game. This game, not so much. The Chargers are kind of running away with the second spot, but if they start to do the chargering, as people like to call it, it could be done. So primetime games this year, we had Broncos vs Saints, already happened. Monday Night Football, Broncos vs Browns, December 2nd. We are actually going to that game. Should be a good game. And then Thursday Night Broncos vs Chargers. No Sunday night for the Broncos this year. But
yeah, that's kind of. I was
if this game was Sunday, that would be awesome. But yeah, it is disappointing. And then week 14 bye week. I feel like that's usual. I feel like last year was the 14th week. Same week as the Commanders and the Ravens, I think. But it's gonna be good, especially because these Chargers had their bye week in week 5. So, do you think the Broncos with that rest on week 14 could be more ready for this game than the Chargers would be? What do you think?
For sure. Our Broncos will be well relaxed and prepared. You know, they'll get to have some time to themselves. And yeah, longer breaks are good for sure.
Yeah, having that long week in between before.
And then they have an extra day next week too.
Yeah,
because it's on Monday night. So that's great.
Yeah. Another breaking. Daniel Jones is released. Something similar to the Russell Wilson situation. His contract will expire in 2026, where he'll be paid around $40 million a year. I'm not sure if his contract is guaranteed or if they don't have to pay him. I don't think that's how it works. I think they do have to pay him every year till 2026. Similar to like the Broncos, we had to pay Russell Wilson even though he's on another team, right?
Right.
I don't know if any team that picks him up. I don't think any team would pick him up. That's, in my opinion, that's a ridiculous thing. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, he's getting paid a lot.
Yeah, that'd be stupid. But Daniel Jones was okay. Like, I'll be honest, when he got drafted, his first 2 years were really good. I watched him. He wasn't throwing interceptions. It was taking his time. But like the Giants, oh my gosh! I mean, I feel bad for their franchise. I mean, they haven't had a good team since Eli Manning.
Yeah, similar to us. But yeah. The parallel of these two teams, and the Giants have a really great defense. It's a great defense.
Yeah, the Giants' defense is underrated.
They're
top 20, I think.
They got a good.
It might not seem good, but like.
No, it's definitely good. They're good. They're good up front. The blitzing and the pressures. The Giants are good with the sacks. The secondary gets the job done. I think their defense is super underrated, like you said. But yeah, he got demoted to the 4th string quarterback, and when I saw that, I was like, okay, they're getting him. They're doing it so he doesn't get injured. And then he must have done something during practice because they put him on safety, and they're just like, you know what, you're gone. I feel like Daniel Jones, he's just not, like, when I watch him play, I feel like he's just not giving everything to the game. I agree with this decision by the Giants, and we know now that they're gonna draft a quarterback. It's gonna happen.
He actually wrote like a goodbye thing a day before he got released.
Yeah.
So I think he knew it was coming for him.
Yeah.
You know, I wish the best for him. I hope he performs better on another team.
Yeah, if a team picks him up.
I
Probably
was surprised. I was surprised that he's been playing for 6 years. I thought it was 4 years.
Yeah, no, he's been playing a while, which is weird.
Yeah.
And obviously they infamously chose to extend Daniel Jones rather than sign Saquon Barkley. You know, that turns out teams make mistakes. It happens. But yeah, if the Giants lose this week, I don't know who they're playing against. Might be like, who knows, probably a division or something. Maybe the Commanders should be a Commanders win. They'll go 2-9. Raiders could also go 2-9. Jags, a lot of these teams could lose. The Jags are looking the worst right now. Giants have they're projected more for the first pick in 19.2% chance to get it.
Yeah.
Compared to, which is a lot when you think about 32 teams. I mean, a lot of teams probably have like a 1% chance. Chiefs are not getting the first pick. Bills are not getting the first pick. Broncos are not getting it. That kind of thing. So yeah, question. Will the Raiders trade with the Giants to get the first pick and draft Shedeur Sanders? Shedeur Sanders and Brock Bowers could be a deadly combination. Could help this team out a little bit offensively. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I think you're talking about Brock Bowers, right?
Yeah. Shedeur Sanders, Brock Bowers on the Raiders could be deadly. That could be a good... Brock Bowers is pretty much a receiver at this point.
I don't like talking about the Raiders. I don't mind talking about them. I hate them though, but I think if Shedeur and Brock Bowers play together, I think it'll be the top 5 best QB and receiver duos in the league for sure.
Like tight end receiver?
Yeah, tight end receiver. I feel like a lot of tight ends, they don't get the attention as much anymore. You know?
Not after the Gronk.
Like Mark Andrews on the Ravens, you know, at the start of the year, he was not getting anything.
No
catches,
targets.
No receptions, you know, but like tight ends are a great position.
It is a very
great blocking. They're great for blocking. They're also big. Like Travis Kelce, no, he hasn't had the best year. He's only had 2 touchdowns this year. Not even 500 yards yet. He is still a great blocking tight end. I mean,
yeah,
you know, you obviously want passes and stuff like that, but you know, tight ends are an important position.
I think the Broncos should definitely look into getting a tight end during the draft or from free agency as well.
Yeah,
maybe an off-season trade.
We should trade for that Browns tight end, in my opinion. He's good. He's really good.
David Njoku.
He's hurt right now, but he's really good though.
With the Raiders, yeah. I think there's a chance this could happen. I do think Shedeur might actually end up going to the Giants, but we have talked about how he has voiced that he wants to go to the Raiders. The whole Tom Brady situation, and this is relevant. I mean, Shedeur Sanders and Brock Bowers, we have to play them twice a year. Brock Bowers is absolutely cooking with Booger Minshew as his quarterback, which is insane. He has 706 yards. He's the first in that. He has 70 receptions. He's the first in that. He has 89 targets. He's first in that. He's his 7.87% completion rate. I didn't even bother trying to go through all the tight ends. That would just take too long. It's probably first though. I mean, sometimes there's probably a tight end who played like one game, got 1 target, got 1 catch, 100% completion rate. That doesn't really matter.
Right.
First, and then he's 5th in receiving touchdowns. I just don't want Brock Bowers during this game against the Broncos to just run down the field, catch a ball in between our safeties, and just take it to the end zone. That's all I'm worried about in this game. He did it last game, and we responded very well. After the pick 6 from Pat Surtain, we really controlled that game on all sides of the field, even special teams. But let's not even make it come to that, where we need a absolutely miracle play. Not miracle. Like, nothing's a miracle when you're talking about PS2. But We don't want any of that to run away. And yeah, I just think mentality, the Raiders suck. They're terrible, but we need to still treat it like an important game. It's a division rivalry game. The Broncos have an opportunity to sweep them since like 2018 or something. Just beat them down from start to finish. Score early. Doesn't have to be first try. That would be nice, but score early. Just build that lead. Run away with it, and just control Brock Bowers. He's just a guy. He's not like some inevitable being that will just catch every football that comes his way and just run 100 yards to it. We can tackle him. We can intercept him.
He's a great tight end.
He's an amazing tight end. And if he had a competent quarterback like Shedeur, I think the Broncos Raiders could get back to the point where it was like we split them every year, we sweep them a year, they sweep us once a year. It'd be a great thing to see. I think that would be awesome. Competition is awesome. I do want the Broncos to win, and I want to expose the Raiders this year. Make them tank for a first pick. And I just think if Shedeur was on the Raiders, I just think that would be pretty funny. Because, again, like we talked about last Saturday, Bo Nix is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders in all aspects.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just be honest here. And a lot of that is coaching, but Shedeur Sanders is well coached with Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
I think it's our last thing to talk about, the Chargering. It lives in an organization that, despite boasting many talent-rich rosters, has won one AFC championship and led to single Super Bowl appearance and 0 championships. Did you know that?
I did not.
I did not know that. I did not know that the Chargers are winless in Super Bowl terms. Just one. Just one AFC championship, one Super Bowl, and they got blown the hell out. Like, this is bad. That was Super Bowl, like, I don't know, but it's a phenomenon at this point for the Chargers to just choke.
Yeah, pretty normal for them.
Like, here's some interesting things that happened. The Jaguars scored within 24 seconds remaining in the first half and went into the break trailing 27-7. I think this was 2022 this happened. And 27-7, like, surely you got to win that game, right? And the Jaguars kicked a 36-yard field goal to win. The Jaguars lost the turnover battle 5-0. They turned the ball over 5 times and won the game against the Chargers. That's a generational choke. If the Broncos beat them on Thursday, they're not legit. It's just going to be the same thing. I don't think they're legit. I don't think they're going for a deep playoff run at all. The AFC is tough. They're not winning the Super Bowl against whatever NFC team comes out on top.
Right.
I think we have a very solid chance to beat these guys on prime time, split them. What do you think about that? That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think our defense is really gonna show out on that game. I think most of our players who are injured for like time to time. Like I think Josh Reynolds will come back, so he's definitely gonna play He's definitely gonna play the game before the season ends for sure. Yeah. I mean, we look need him back. I mean, we have some great receivers, but like, I don't know. He used to be a Lion, getting passes from Jared Goff. I mean, if you look at his highlights when he was on the Lions, he's a good receiver.
Yeah, I love Josh Reynolds.
So when he comes back, it'll make it easier for the Broncos for sure. And we'll just have another option to like go deep and pass him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think our defense will definitely stand out for that game.
Just get the ball rolling on offense.
Benito is having a crazy year. Yeah. I'm thankful we our team.
I think he has 9 sacks, so he has an opportunity to get that double digits since Von Miller.
He's giving me Von Miller vibes, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree with what you were saying against the Chargers game. If, like, we played well, we lost PS2 and we didn't know what to do that game. We turned it up in the second half, lost by 1 possession. Courtland Sutton had that insane catch. That was incredible. That needs to be talked about for catch of the year. I think if we get the ball rolling offensively, the defense will just continue to just shut it down. But yeah, this Chargers defense is good. Bo Nix is getting better. It's going to be a crazy game. Win or lose, it's going to be a great game, hopefully. I do see the Broncos having a good chance to come out of this on top, especially after the bye. The bye is really what sells this for me. It's a late bye compared to them. I mean, the Chargers get like one bad injury these next 2 weeks on like a key player, and that could really just change the ties and just make the Broncos have like a 75% chance to win, because they're just so beaten up. Their last thing was on week 5. Their last bye was on week 5.
Any injury for any good team right now, it can impact their whole their playoffs changes.
Yeah.
Obviously no one wants to get hurt, but it's gonna happen. I mean, I hope none of the Broncos key players get hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. And like you said with Josh Reynolds, he's like the biggest, besides Alex Singleton, like the biggest injury that we've had. And he didn't even have it on the field. He got shot in like the back and then the back of the head, which is insane how he's still with us today. I'm very thankful for that. If he comes back, I think he's going to be hungry to show out. So last few things I want to talk about. So this is Denver offense here. Las Vegas defense. It's, compared to some other teams, it's not the best, the defense sucks too.
The defense is awful.
But this Raiders offense sucks, and this Denver defense does not suck at all.
You know what's gonna happen? I feel like Booger Minshew is gonna play really bad, and then they're gonna swap quarterbacks again.
Yeah, they could probably swap him earlier.
Aiden O'Connell's gonna go.
And this D-line just gets better and better. They're just going to harass this Booger Minshew guy. Keep Brock Bowers locked up. Plug up the run up front. Linebackers are playing exceptional. I think the Broncos have this in the bag. But again, mentality. Treat it like an important game. No mistakes. Control this Brock Bowers guy. I like Brock Bowers. He's a cool guy. He's a great tight end. It's good to see the tight end role get some more love and attention. It is a great role, exactly like you said. It's a great role. But yeah,
right.
Just plug this guy up, and that's it. Bo Nix. I think the main takeaway is that the Broncos have an opportunity to get a huge, record advantage, going 9-5 in the next 3 games. With the bye week, have some national attention against the Chargers game. Beat the Bengals that are already broken and battered, and then take it to the Chiefs last week. Bring them, take them home, beat them down in our own home in our own throwback unis, and get into the wild card. I mean, even if we get first rounded, how cool would a wild card appearance from the Broncos be? How cool would that be?
It's football. It's such an amazing feeling if that happens. I think it's gonna happen.
I would love it. Just a winning record too would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we almost had a winning record with Wilson, 8-9. But we were not supposed to win 5 games in a row. I don't know how it happened, but aside from him, this season it's been a roller coaster. The first 4 weeks were tough. The Steelers game, I don't want to talk about. It's not the biggest thing, but Bo Nix was still getting introduced to the NFL.
Through a bad
the Seahawks,
end zone pick.
The Seahawks had a great defense at the start of the year, and now it's just terrible.
Yeah.
But ever since the Bucs game, we've had hella momentum. It's been awesome, but a wild card. I think it'll prove the NFL that we're not some terrible team. We're still people that we actually have a good quarterback, and people can respect him for that. So I say we might lose 1 or 2 games throughout the rest of the season. I hope not, but I think if we can play the Steelers in the wild card, that would be.
We can win that game 100%.
Yeah, the Steelers are off. They're not awful, but like they're like the Chiefs a little bit. Like their offense is so bad.
Yeah, their offense sucks. I don't know why.
They're only good player. I mean, George Pickens is a great receiver. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, if they didn't have George Pickens, they'd be worse. But
yeah. The second coming of Antonio Brown.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when you're switching quarterbacks between Wilson and Justin Fields every game, I don't know. Mike Tomlin, great coach. I respect him.
Yeah.
I don't know why they got both of them. Both of those QBs.
Yeah,
they're both kind of the same. And in that case, I would take if it was a playoff game, 2 minutes left, I would rather take Russell Wilson because he has experience.
Exactly.
He's a mobile quarterback. He's better than Justin Fields. But anyways, aside from that, I think we're definitely gonna make the this year.
Yeah, if we were able to play the Steelers, that would be great. Right, like you said, I feel like their offense is not as good as it's made out to seem. They didn't score a single point against the Ravens offensively. It was all special teams, all Chris Boswell, who's the #1 fantasy kicker now, which is pretty funny. Getting 18. Imagine being a kicker and scoring all the points for your team against a division rival. Like, that's just hilarious.
Yeah, that's good.
And then they lost to the Browns. I mean, some interesting things happened in that game. George Pickens got in a fight at the end. I love George Pickens. He's a funny guy. I think the Broncos could get someone like George Pickens in the first round as a receiver. That would be awesome. Or like a Malik Neighbors. I don't think our pick is that high. I think Pickens went 4th or something after Drake May.
Right.
I don't exactly remember. But yeah, I think the Broncos, if we make the playoffs this year, get first rounded, that's just a good testament to show what's coming. Because again, we free up the cap space. We get our draft picks back. It's looking good. Bo Nix is getting better. Hopefully he doesn't have a sophomore slump. I don't think he will. It's not as common as people like to make it seem, but yeah. That's really about it. Let's go Broncos against the Raiders. We hate the Raiders. They suck. No one likes them. No team even likes them in the NFL. They're annoying as hell. Let's really just stick it to them in their own shitty stadium. Let's do it. Let's go Broncos. As a reminder, subscribe, comment. I want everyone to comment on this question. I think it's an interesting question to think about. Again, we talked about the Giants having a good D-line up front. They don't really need Max Crosby, but how could you turn it down if they're offering if they just want a first-round pick? But again, the Giants do need a quarterback. I'm not too familiar with the quarterback class. I know Shedeur Sanders is great. I've been to a few CU games. He's great. He does interesting things sometimes that really make you question what are you doing, man? But overall, he's good. Every quarterback will do that. I think he's going to succeed in the NFL, especially with his whole Tom Brady connection, and just having, prime time as your dad is just insane. But yeah, I want everyone to answer this question. If anyone even watches these videos, I think it's an interesting thing to think about. I think the future of the NFL is very interesting. I think the future of the AFC West is even more interesting than that. And I think the future of the Broncos is really spicy. I like it a lot. And that's where we'll sign off today. Unless you want, I think we have a few more slides. We have something about the Nuggets, yeah. Nuggets coming off a pretty interesting loss last night against the Mavericks. Lost by 3 points. Some weird foul stuff happened. They played well.
The Nuggets play the Lakers tonight. We own the Lakers,
We do.
We've shitted on them every playoff run in the last 2 years. We have that Jamal Murray shot over Anthony Davis. We have Jokic pulling the craziest threes. I wanted to talk a bit about the Nuggets. Nikola Jokic, best player in the NBA for sure, in my opinion. He has been putting up NBA 2K stats.
MVP numbers once again.
He has been crazy. He's had a triple double almost in every game. Also Russell Westbrook. I think a lot of NBA fans. He's been on 6 different teams. A lot of fans were gonna he thinks people think he's washed. Again,
to my point where
you gotta watch him. You can't really say anything about that.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's an encouragement to the viewers. Like, don't form your opinions on anything. Just watch the games.
Like,
it's hard to watch the Nuggets. I get that, but maybe watch the highlights or something. They're not playing bad at all.
No, they're not playing bad. I mean, I'm one of those NBA fans who like. Yeah, I mean, people think the first quarter and second quarter is boring. Yeah, you're kind of right, but for me, I watched the whole game. You know, I watched every pass, and I'm gonna talk more about the Nuggets each week because last year playoffs we lost to the Timberwolves.
Game 7.
Coach. Yeah, Game 7. I was out to that game. You know, I sat in the section with all the Timberwolves fans. It was not fun, but the Nuggets, they kind of had a rough few first games, but then they started getting the chemistry back together. And like what I was saying about Westbrook, he's the type of player who plays good one night and the other night he plays bad. But like last night, like when they put the Mavericks, he didn't have any points in the first and second quarter, but he was hitting those clutch threes in the fourth quarter. He is a great player. And then about the triple doubles, he just hit 200 triple doubles, and Nikola Jokic is only 65 away from that. I think Jokic will hit that in the next 2 years. That's crazy to think about.
That's really impressive that we have him on our team.
Yeah, but from this squad, you can see that Jokic has been our top player.
He leads in points by far, like so many.
Yeah, and his rebounds are awesome, and then
over 10.
I mean, he plays the most minutes because he's the best player. But I think someone who can do better this year is Jamal Murray. He's being criticized for playing like shit, but every player can't play the best. No. I don't know why people expect him to play so good every night.
Yeah, and he's coming off an injury at some point this year.
Yeah,
right? He got injured in camp.
He hurt. Yeah.
And basketball is a taxing sport. Like, and look, he's getting the third most minutes. He's a key player, coming off an injury, running that much back and forth down the court. It's not easy. This team is a good team, and they're gonna make the playoffs again, most likely. They're playing well. Like, you lose to the Mavericks, whatever. The Mavericks are a good team. You lose by 3, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and Jamal Murray is clutch in the fourth quarter. Exactly. That's why his name Blue Arrow, bro. He hits clutch threes when there's 5 minutes left. I mean,
it's pretty funny how
the buzzer beaters, like, crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty funny how I feel like the Broncos, the Avalanche, and the Nuggets are kind of like late in the game teams. I think it's kind of funny. And we'll talk more about the Nuggets and the Avalanche as the season progresses. It's early in the season. Nothing really matters right now. Like, the records are just 9-9, 9-8, 8-9. It doesn't really matter as of right now. We'll talk more about them as the season progresses.
The Nuggets were down 24 points against the Mavericks, and they came back and almost won. I mean, that's just pretty crazy. But this chart shows that like Christian Brown, like, this is his third year. He's been playing great.
Yeah, he is playing great. He's awesome.
The Nuggets are really good at developing.
Yeah,
especially like the bottom players like Tyson Hunter or Sackridge. I don't know his name is, but we picked him up from an old team or another team. But and DeAndre Jordan and Russell Westbrook, they've been in the league for a while. DeAndre Jordan, like, he's not in his prime, obviously. He's hella washed up, but he's like, for basketball, he runs a leadership role. He helps a lot of players. That's really cool. He does that. I just wanted to show this chart that Jokic has been our best player. He better not be robbed for MVP from like Jason Tatum. That would be the stupidest thing ever because he put up crazy ass numbers.
He is that guy. Again, we'll talk more about the Nuggets and the Avalanche as the season progresses, as it gets more important. to win games and get into the playoffs. I'll just talk about the Avalanche real fast. Big win against the Capitals. A good team. And then I think it's a 2-win streak against the Flyers. I think they play the Predators like tonight or tomorrow night, or maybe they already did. Avalanche are playing good, having some goalie issues like usual, like every single year in the Avalanche. Really annoying to see. He played well against the Capitals. It was a really low-scoring game, like 2-1. Kind of always happens when you have a West versus East team going at it. But I'm not going to get too excited about it because I think Alex Ovechkin is injured. And to talk about players that are kind of old, putting up crazy numbers, he's the prime example of that. But yeah, I think the Avalanche, again, it's so early in the season, nothing really matters. The Avalanche always make the playoffs. I think they're going to make the playoffs again. We'll definitely have a lot more to say in these episodes about these teams when the playoff time comes. But yeah, Nikola Jokic playing amazing. Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar playing amazing. Last year, they both got MVP. That could happen again.
Wow.
That could happen again.
Yeah.
I will not even pretend like that's not something that could definitely happen. But yeah, that's about it for today. Let's go Broncos. Let's go Nuggets. Let's go Avalanche. Make sure to subscribe. Answer the question. You can answer this question too. Has had the biggest impact? Maybe you have a hot take like it's Michael Porter Jr. Who knows? Just engage. Like the video. Come back next Saturday. We have lots of good information. We're working on making this show better. I think we seriously improved like the aesthetic of the slideshow this week. We got some interesting stuff going.
Yeah. Hopefully I get some algorithm.
These stat lines are interesting. I think we got good takes. And we're not gonna be like aggressive fans. We're not gonna hate on the team if they play bad. Ever. We'll never do that. We watch all the games. Just watch the games. Watch the shows, watch the games, and just enjoy. Not every team is gonna be the Chiefs and build a dynasty all the time. Yeah, that's about it. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for watching. Appreciate you. And yeah, have a good day. Have a good day of college football if you like that. And then get ready for Sunday. Wake up early. Get ready for 2. Broncos Raiders. Big week. Let's go.